Everybody, this is Perch. This actually hits on a topic I've been thinking about lately, so let's get into it. It's a viewer mail calling Simplify Your Characters. It goes, "Hey Perch, I hope you're doing well. So I've been writing my own comics for a while now, and I've been watching various videos about writing. Now, a lot of these videos say generally the same things. One major point most of them make is that a villain needs to have a complex and understandable motive. They often go into how a tragic backstory can make things juicier and more engaging. This is a bad advice. I'm just throwing that out there, but let's finish the mail. A lot of people actually use Thanos from the Marvel Universe as a prime example of how to do this right. Now, I used to 100% believe in this because I was and still am a complete amateur of a writer. However, when I started writing the current comic I'm writing, I thought, you know, what the heck, all my characters are going to be oversimplified character tropes, and we're not going to write this life-changing story about how to be a better person, and they were just going to be fun and maybe even a cheesy comic. Let's get rid of this notion that every single story has to be the next Bible. That being said, okay, do you think modern comics are suffering because current writers are watching these YouTube videos? It's not that reason, maybe, or listening to Martin Scorsese say superhero films aren't cinema. Curious about what you think about this. So I have been thinking about this quite a bit. And here's the thing. Simple is often kind of described and portrayed as bad. And what people forget is simple can mean straightforward. And straightforward is usually a positive. If you simple means not thought through, okay. Simple can mean no depth to the story. That's fine, but depth does not mean complexity. Depth just means feeling, emotion. It means kind of getting involved in what the character is all about. It is perfectly fine, and in fact, often a good idea to make the characters simple in the sense that let their motives, let their character arcs, let their kind of basic, what they're all about, be easy for the reader to understand. And if you overcomplicate that, if you make their whole life story, this is what screws up a lot of people. They think I'm writing something that's not smart enough, that's not clever enough. Therefore, let me get in here and kind of tweak it and adjust it to the point that the entire thing becomes a weird, convoluted soup of a parody of what this character is all about. This is the entire nature behind. We can't just have an evil villain. We've got to have a villain with a tragic backstory that explains why they became a villain. Or, and hear me out on this, you can just have the villain be a crazy bastard who does bad things. That's it. And quite frankly, unless you are a masterclass writer, unless you are Martin Scorsese, don't check yourself. Don't get ahead of yourself. Just write what you're capable of. And maybe the best advice I would give a writer or an artist or anybody in the creative field is know your own limits. And then, do push yourself every now and then. I'm not saying you phone it in, but understand your capacity. If you are brand new to comic art, you've never actually drawn anything, you've never done sequential art before in your life, do not say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and do a 256-page graphic novel with Paul Pope-like complexity. Like, just ease up there, partner. Do something that is actually achievable. Because one of the best ways to get better in life, to actually succeed and improve your skill, is to, finish something, accomplish something, actually, get something done. There's plenty of projects out there that get overcomplicated. And by the way, I'm my own victim of this. I have my own comic. I've been stuck on the last 5 pages of finishing this up now for about 6 months. I've been busy. I give myself lots of excuses. I sit down to do it. I spend all 5-10 minutes. I have to jump on to the next thing. It is, turns out you cannot draw a comic while you're driving, unlike making a YouTube channel. So it does not work. But don't overdo it. Stick to what's simple. This is great advice. And the people who say, no, you need a very complex villain, you need to have a lot of layers, this is advice of people who generally don't actually do anything. These are people who are good at giving advice, bad at actually accomplishing stuff, or it's somebody who has accomplished stuff but has forgotten about how they get there. If you look at almost every successful writer, artist, anybody else in comic books, a lot of them started with very simple stories, very simple art. That's how you learn. And there's nothing wrong with that. So, keep it easy. And then in general, if you're Marvel, DC, if you're looking at some of your characters, you've overcomplicated everything. Like here's an example. If you have a gay character in a comic book, it's not enough to just have the character be gay. The reality is, and I remember there was a video a while back, and it's true, when Spider-Man was dating Mary Jane and then married to Mary Jane, every comic was not filled by Spider-Man running around going, "Hey, you know what I like to do? I like to have sex with Mary Jane because I'm a man and I like to use my penis in vagina locations. That's what I like because I'm Peter Parker and that's what I like. Women. I am straight and I'm having sex with women because I'm a man and that's a woman, and there's no confusion about the definition of woman here. I'm straight. Peter Parker, straight superhero." They don't make comics like that. In fact, you would go several comics where there would be no Mary Jane at all. Or maybe Mary Jane is in a subplot in the comics somewhere for a page or two, but Peter Parker isn't even interacting with her. When Peter Parker would show up and see Mary Jane, they didn't immediately start kissing and talking about how happy they were with each other. Again, sometimes there'd be scenes where Peter Parker's like, "I really should go out and fight crime," and Mary Jane shows up in lingerie, and it's like, "You should fight crime down here," if you know what I'm saying. "I've got some crime going on right down here. You need to go check it out, preferably with your mouth." That you didn't have those scenes in the comic. However, in modern Marvel and DC, when you have a gay character, the writers seem compelled to want to let you know. It's like, "I am gay. I had a hard time coming out to my parents. My parents didn't believe in people who were gay, and they were angry about being gay. But then they came to accept me because that's what parents do, and I'm brave for coming out to my parents who accepted me for being gay, and here's a guy I'm dating, and I am so happy that I am gay. We're going to a Pride festival now, and there's a little parade." Like, good Lord, in Marvel Comics, there is a Pride parade or rally or some kind of event that's going on constantly. Every issue, they're just like, "Wow, I've got to go up to the meetup of people who are gay who live in New York." I'm like, "You mean the bar?" It wasn't. It was. I think it was West Coast Avengers, and one of the characters like, "I'm going to the meetup meeting, the session for gay professionals in LA." I'm like, "You're talking about West Hollywood. You're going to drink in West Hollywood. That's what you're doing right now." So why make it weird? But that's an example of overcomplicating relatively simple things. Just have the character be gay. The end. And then they fight some crime, and then every now and then they're like, "I wish I was able to date a guy because I'm tired of fighting all this crime and not having any downtime. But oh my God, here's Dr. Octopus swinging his metal arms around." I mean, that's just do that. A villain can be a homicidal maniac. You do not need to reveal that once upon a time, this super awful serial killer villain was actually a nice kid who's had a mean priest who beat him and locked him in a box with spiders, and then that made the character all no, just let there be some mystery. Let the character be evil. Sometimes the villains just want to take over the world for reasons that don't make a lot of sense, but they're crazy villains. They don't need to make sense. You don't need to actually have the character like, "Well, once upon a time this person was a member of PETA, and then they're trying to save animals, but then watched an Al Gore movie and got super horny about global warming, and then they fell in a vat of acid that was left there from evil oil companies that then caused the brain to go insane, but they're trying to save polar bear." Like, oh my God, just be mean and let the heroes just be heroes. You also don't need to explain why a character wants to save people. It's like, "Well, ever since I was a child, I used to watch my friend get bullied, and I was too helpless to try and stop the bullying. But then as I got bigger and got, bitten by that radioactive hamster, then I grew all those muscles and super strength, and now I fight the world to rid it from bullies." Like, oh my God. My God, just fight the villain. Shut up. That's all you need to By the way, this is not me advocating for, dumb, paper thin, no plot comics. Of course, you put some thought into the battle. But the point is, and to your mail, it's okay, first of all, if you're getting started, to just keep it simple. Don't get ahead of yourself. But second, even when you get to be a master at things, it just, writing characters that go to the core of their attributes, their traits, and they do stuff with what they've got, that's okay. Just let them be themselves. You don't need to overcomplicate it. You don't need to make the world crazy. Just let these things go on. A lot of comics get ruined this way. A lot of them. And it is the writers second guessing themselves. I got to make this more complicated. I've got this gay character in here, but are they gay enough? We'll put them in a parade. Like, just no. Some of the best representations, and they did Midnight on Apollo, and they did Hulkling and Wiccan at the beginning. You look through those Young Avengers comics, mysteriously, they were able to have the two characters have a relationship, and they were not having to go to Pride Festival every other month. They just or week or whatever. The comic came out bi-monthly, so they couldn't do it more next. There wasn't a comic to come out. Anyway, just simple is not bad. It's not a dirty word, and in some cases, it's exactly what will save your comic. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, subscribe, or unsubscribe. Dislike and unsubscribe. You can do that. It doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. Thanks for listening.